We have just come out of our meditation. I'm pleased and excited because my beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, talented new friend and neighbor, we've been neighbors for a while, but we're blossoming into our friendship, Stephanie Fodor MacDonald. So, welcome back to the Authentic Creative, expanding our capacity to feel good. I am so excited to have this dialogue. Steph has actually come to both of our transformational breathwork infused with Reiki evenings that I hosted at Loch Lake Lodge. She brought her friends both times. She's a really special human. It feels extra meaningful to get to be in dialogue with her today. She's a self-proclaimed actorpreneur, which I love. She was born and raised in
Kailua.
Kalua,
Yep.
Oahu, Hawaii. Kalua,
We're there.
Oahu, Hawaii. And she saw snow for the first time when she went to Boston for college. She is an avid traveler and has lived and worked in Tokyo, Hong Kong, San Francisco, LA. Stephanie has been a professional actor since she was 8 years old, and she's performed in theater, musicals, commercials, television, feature films, video games, sketch comedy, all of it. She's also written and produced award-winning digital content and loves collaborating with talented and kind creatives to tell stories that inspire, entertain, uplift. In 2015, she and her husband Jimmy co-founded Authenticity 50. I love that name so much. You guys know why. An American-made home goods company focused on supporting the U.S. textile industry with premium bedding and bath products made entirely in the U.S. The company recently celebrated its 10-year anniversary, has been featured on ABC World News, HGTV, the Los Angeles Times, the Washington Post. So they're out there. Steph and Jimmy are the proud parents of two energetic boys and now call the Portland area home. So welcome, Stephanie. I am so glad you're here. Before we get into acting and entrepreneurship and everything that you do, I just want to ask you, in this moment, with your heart open, we've just did this beautiful running energy.
Mm.
What is present in life for you? What is life teaching you in this particular season we're in, March 11th? Of motherhood, of creativity, of running a company, like, oh my goodness, what are you learning right now? Because a lot of our
Yes.
listeners are just like you. They're entrepreneurs, they're mothers, they're creatives.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Siri, for having me on your podcast. I feel so honored to be here and to be with you today. We just had a wonderful little breathwork session, and it totally helped me get grounded and present. And to answer your question, I think for me, continually searching for balance, it's never perfect, ever, for any of us. I feel like there's almost a desire to see, like, oh, if I just do this or that, life will be perfect. It's all about the journey, as they say, but I have learned to embrace days of chaos and
Mm.
just trying to find the balance in it and just trying to constantly tell myself, it is okay. There may be so much going on, like my toddler had a meltdown on the way to daycare today. And you kind of have to get to a point where you just laugh it off and you take a deep breath and you're like, it could be so much worse. We're
Mhm.
going to be okay in the messiness. And that has helped me get through so many days.
I love this because that levity, that amusement, that's how angels fly. They take themselves lightly. And I feel like you're such an angel. I want to go back to, first of all, Hawaii and then Boston.
Yeah. So born and raised in Hawaii, my immediate family's still there, and went to Boston for college. That was the first time I saw snow. Did college out there for 4 years and then moved to Los Angeles after graduating, but not before getting a job. If you guys remember the show Lost, that was my first job out of school working in the production office.
Wow.
Before that, had grown up acting in all kinds of projects that would come through Hawaii, and always knew from a young age my calling. My third grade teacher was like, why don't you audition for the school play? And I did. It was life changing and haven't looked back since. It's interesting when you find that calling at such a young age and life takes you in all different places, but you do know in your heart that whatever happens, you have that to be your North Star. Everything led me to always want to have creativity and acting in my life. And so worked on Lost for a year. My now husband, we met on a study abroad program in Tokyo, Japan in college. I was in school in Boston. He was in school in Washington State, and he's from Seattle originally. We were in Tokyo for a while together after graduating. I taught English to little kids. It was so fun. Ended up getting ESL certified and doing that later on when he had a job in Hong Kong. I was in LA for a couple of years doing acting school. He was in Tokyo, then he moved to Hong Kong. Life finds a way, and when you're meant to find your person, you are. And it has been a lot of work to be in the same place. I had to find for myself, would I be okay going to another country? Putting LA dreams on hold for a bit because physically I moved to Hong Kong for a year and a half when he had a job there. But I ended up doing more theater out there. I did voiceover out there. It was so much fun, taught English. I always try to embrace life and whatever kind of adventure is thrown at me. I've always been a risk taker, like never been afraid to just try something new. That has been a through line in my life, whether it's as an actor or entrepreneur, just going for it. Long story short, life took us to San Francisco for 2, 3 years, then back to LA for 6, 7 years. And then when we realized we wanted work life balance and have a family, we looked towards the Pacific Northwest and the Portland area so we could be creative and I could still maintain a presence in acting, but we would be able to at least be a little closer to family and have a little more of a balance because we found that life in Los Angeles, such a big city, a very expensive city, it wasn't quite conducive to the life that we were hoping to have when we had kids. So,
Yeah, you've got such an expansive, incredible life, and there's so much courage in there. Like you say, try new things, to embrace the messiness, to surrender to the opportunities that are in front of you and the paradoxes as well. Honestly, I feel like I could dive into so many portals that you just mentioned. I'm curious though, from all of the wisdom of all of the life, incredible places that you've lived, incredible journeys you've been on, jobs that you've had, just coming back to embodiment and being a creative in a sensitive body, being a sensitive soul, being an authentic soul. What do you think is a through line for you that brings you back through all of these adventures, through all of these paradoxes, and all of these very exciting, entertaining career paths? What it brings you back to your authenticity? I know that's an important word for you, and that on our podcast here is an important core value. What is bringing you back each time when you're making those life decisions, when you're making those little mini decisions of, I'm not going to let this meltdown with my child this morning take over my whole day? What's bringing you back in your body? And maybe it started as something different in the early years and now it's changed and morphed.
great question. Yeah, it's taken therapy. It's taken
Yeah,
a lot
great.
of moments of self-reflection to hone in and listen to my instincts, listen to my gut, trust myself. I've had a strong intuition and gut that I wasn't afraid to listen to.
Okay.
Tuning into that and not being afraid to let it guide me and not being afraid to let the other voices of what other people are saying inhibit what I
Mhm.
would like to go forward and do, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, having kids, like you said, the early years, it was all about me. I'm a very fiercely independent person. I'm a Sagittarius and love to travel, love to be independent. And it was a huge, huge shift for me. I had postpartum depression with both kids. And it's not something that people enjoy talking about. It's gotten a lot less stigma over the years, I
For
think. I've
sure. Yeah.
heard about it, whether it's from celebrities or people in public spaces where they're taking down the stigma and making moms feel okay. Getting to that point where now I can have that levity with my toddler,
Hmm.
with therapy and with giving myself grace over the years. It definitely didn't happen right out of the gate, but I've learned those tools to be like, you know what? Instead of getting even more mad at my little toddler, who will then get even more riled up, we're going to just give them a hug. We're going to say, you know what? It's okay. Do you need a hug from mommy? Do you need, because they're trying to express themselves in a certain way. They're trying to let us know something. And sometimes they can't verbalize it in the right way or communicate it the way we would want them to, the way we understand as an adult. So it's, yeah, I've been a lot of trial and error. I don't want to misconstrue things and tell people that I have always dealt with it with levity with my toddlers, but I have learned trial and error that it makes life easier when you can look at it from a certain perspective and just say, okay, something worse could be going on right now. Right now, we're having a little bit of a meltdown. Like we're screaming, we're crying. It is not fun to deal with or listen to. And I think our instincts as parents sometimes, or just adults, is to just kind of lash back or be reactive.
Mm.
And kids just need a little bit of assurance. They just need a little hug. They need a moment to just breathe. And I think you will be proud to hear, Siri, that, and I can't take credit for this because I think his daycare has taught him this, but he will get really riled up and he'll be like, Mommy, I need to take deep breath. I need deep breath. And it is the cutest thing because he's learning
Yeah.
emotional regulation, self-regulation. And so we will do
Yeah.
deep breaths in the car together and we'll say,
Mm.
okay, do we need to do a deep breath? Yeah, I need deep breath. And so we will. We'll say, okay, let's breathe in. 1, 2, 3. And breathe out. 1, 2, 3. We literally, no joke, just did this morning in the car.
Mm.
It always helps him. It makes him feel better. It makes us feel better. And then we can just be a better parent. We can be more open. We can listen. And I have taken those lessons into life, whether as an actor or an entrepreneur, any facet of my life, just trying to have that perspective. And to tie it in with postpartum depression, with both kids, there was a lot going on when the birth happened. With my first one, I had an emergency C-section after being in labor for 36 hours. I did not plan to have my baby like this. The doctor's like, yeah, we need to get the baby out now. Having to deal with the aftermath of this is not only a surgery I didn't plan on, but it's 2 months of recovery. It's a serious surgery.
Yeah.
You're a mom, and I don't know if you've had to do an emergency C-section, but not fun.
Yeah.
And ended
I've
up, having
certainly
to
have helped women that have gone through what you're going through, and it's a trauma, and it's
totally.
surprising if you didn't plan it. And then there's the grief of that's
Mhm,
not what I wanted.
mhm,
And then the recovery while you're caring for your newborn and
mhm,
trying to nurse. I mean, the superhuman, superhero abilities that women have are fantastically fascinating and
mhm,
incredible. And I'm just in awe of us. Like,
mhm.
yeah, tell me more about this.
Yeah, so well said. Thank you. We don't give ourselves enough credit for this. That not only am I bringing a human being into this world, but the 9 months of pregnancy, as beautiful as it is, pregnancy, for me, I was just ready for it to be done. I wasn't super jazzed about the 9 months of strain on my body. I'm 5'2". It was a lot of like
Mm,
pain. I didn't sleep well. I love to sleep, didn't sleep well. It wasn't the most
mm,
enjoyable. I was very lucky. I didn't have to deal with morning sickness. I just had acid reflux every day, which was fun.
mm, mm.
But
That's just as
it
hard in a different way.
in a different way, but I wasn't puking every day. And I know that can be so hard.
Yeah,
I've had friends who've had to deal with
that's what
that. And
I
that's,
dealt with. Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
oh gosh. I remember just being like, I'm having acid reflux, but I am so lucky that I'm not having serious morning sickness every day, because just on top of everything else, it would be hard. And we had moved up to the Pacific Northwest, and baby was born 6 weeks later. That's a whole other story. But
Hmm.
transitions on all different fronts,
Yeah, so many
physically.
unexpected challenges
Yes,
that you've had to
yes.
navigate where you're like, what is happening?
100%. I consider myself a strong person mentally. As an actor, you're
Oh,
always
yeah.
dealing with rejection. And we have to talk another time. I would love to talk about your experiences because I know you were acting as well in Los Angeles. It takes a toll, but you learn to just, again, it takes a long time, but you learn to not take it personally and be like, you know what?
Yes.
The right person for the role. It'll be my role if it's meant to be. And if it's not, that's okay. You learn to just accept it and not take it personally. There's just so many different transitions with an emergency C-section and this new life, and being fiercely independent before, and then being beholden to this little being. And then COVID happened 6 months later. Jimmy and I were with our baby and trying to adjust to a new life in a whole new place and find a community and seeking all of those things and belonging and not quite having anything established yet. And COVID hitting, we were lucky enough to be with his folks and go up there to Seattle and be with them for 3 months, because we were like, we have no childcare. We couldn't get the kiddo in childcare. It was a whole thing. Postpartum was for that first 6 months or so with my first one. On top of that, we're running our business too. So as a small business owner, we
Yes, I want to hear about
most of us
this. I
Yeah,
want to
most
hear about
women.
Authenticity 50, the birth of it, the challenges of it, the successes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
there's
get
just so
into that.
much. Just to let people know, like, it is okay to feel the feels when you become a mom and to
Mm.
struggle. Like, it is okay. We all do. 10% of the population has dealt with postpartum depression. And
Only
especially when
10.
you have, I
I'm
think it's
I'm
at least
imagining it's
10%.
more.
It
Okay.
could be more. I think I remember, and this may be an old stat from several years ago now, but I do remember looking it up and doing research when I was in it
Okay.
and being like, okay, well, at least 10%, like that is a lot.
Hmm.
And with the stressors, American life,
Yeah.
being a woman, being a mom in America is very stressful. There's just so much put upon us and our role in society. And so it just kind of all came crashing down for me in the sense that I was just like, this is so hard. And when you're on the bathroom floor, like out of a movie scene, crying, being like, I can't do this. This is so hard. And
Yeah.
trying, having struggles with breastfeeding. And then with my second kiddo, I have it again because unfortunately, my father-in-law, my oldest turned 2. We had just moved into our house and they had visited. And literally the very next day, he got a massive stroke and had to be put in the hospital. And died almost exactly a year later after a really hard decline degeneratively. And
Wow.
it was hard because he passed almost exactly 2 months after my second was born. And
Oh, that's
I don't
rough.
recommend birth and death at the same time. In hindsight, you can look back and be like, that was a really shitty time. It was probably the hardest 2, 3 years. Um,
Shitstorm, everything
yeah.
colliding at once
Oh,
that possibly could.
Oh my gosh. And then one of our employees decided to leave. He passed in August and she decided to leave at the end of September,
Mm.
knowing that we were coming upon Q4, which is the busiest time for a retail business. And it was so many things, one after another. And then shortly after that, we got norovirus in the house, all of us
Shit.
where you're just stuck together. Yeah, I think there was a big snowstorm up here and we're literally stuck. We couldn't get out of the house because we're at the bottom of a hill. We were just like, this is
Wow.
what it means to be in a shit storm. It really felt like there was one thing after another. And
Yeah, there was.
uh
Crisis, crisis, crisis.
crisis
Yeah.
and literally doing it on our own. We weren't able to look to family for support. And that first year was really hard. It took a year. The baby was on the list for daycare for a year.
Wow.
We're trying to navigate all of this death, business. I would scratch out, eke out auditions because I didn't want to fully step away and tell my agents I need to take a break because I just didn't want to do that. I don't know why. And of course, hindsight, it's like maybe I probably should have taken a year off fully of just not
Mhm.
even auditioning. But for me, it was almost like
Well, you
my
said
soul
that's
was
your
like,
North Star. You said that was your thing
yes,
that kept you
yes,
being you. It's who you are, it's your
exactly.
creativity. So you didn't want that to die. You didn't want that
Yes,
flame to burn out.
100%. So subconsciously, I think that's what it was. It was like, if I say no to that, then it's like, what kind of
What am
what?
I doing? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is your thing.
And yes, I do encourage anyone who's experiencing postpartum depression or anyone who's my husband and I as well, because we were dealing with so much grief and with the family and a lot of
Mm.
turmoil there. We're not ashamed to say it as well. Couples counseling to just stay connected with your partner and just like mental health or brushing your teeth, it's something that is so good for anyone, whether they're in a great stage of their marriage or going through stuff with their family, like just kind of a way to maintain and keep
Yeah,
a relationship healthy.
yeah, I hear that.
Sharing that because it is not possible to
Do it
like
alone.
stay sane and do it
Yeah.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah. We have to build in these support systems, whatever they are, and
Yeah.
take the shame out of it. That
Yes.
when you get inundated in the way that you did, which not everyone does,
Right.
you signed up for the master class of life.
Oh yes.
Clearly. And there are stories similar but different. Yours is very uniquely challenging in a very specific way. So, thank you for talking about it because when we talk about the very hard of life, right? And I know that's why you're talking about it because
Hmm.
it's not always fun, it's not always easy. It's not like, let me brag about this.
Hmm. Right.
We do alleviate something for someone who hears this. And they can resonate and they can say, you know what, maybe I do need to get that extra help.
Yes.
I know for me, someone who's been very into the natural way of doing things my whole life. I don't know how you
Hmm.
grew up, but I was very alternative. They call quotes alternative, the original medicines. So for me, it's hard sometimes to accept maybe whatever that more traditional support is. But maybe it's needed sometimes. And when you've learned to be resilient as an actor, when you've learned to zoom out and get those perspectives for your children, even when you're in the middle of your own reactivity and your own nervous system dysregulation, your own, I don't know if you're starting perimenopause yet, but I'm deep in my perimenopause. Hormonal shifts, the hormonal shifts you were going through after both of your births,
Yes.
deep hormonal shifts. When
Hmm.
you're going through all of this unevenness, this shaky ground under you, how do you navigate? And you kept saying in the beginning, balance, balance. And so finding that balance, but also I noticed you talk about zooming out. So
Hmm.
I think we're destigmatizing the hard for women of being an entrepreneur, being a mother, being a creative from what you've shared. So thank you for that. I do want to know more about the birth of why is it called Authenticity 50? What was the inspiration? How's it going? What do you love about it? What's the hardest thing about it?
Yes, yes. And yeah, thank you for that, for saying that just before this theory. I really appreciate it. And I agree. It's important to talk about things that are not so pretty to talk about and peel the curtain back and let people be real about it. And on that note, so talking about Authenticity 50, and I was thinking about this before. I was like, I bet Siri is connecting to this, the authentic creative, Authenticity 50. I know authenticity is a core value and part of your work. I just love that. So Authenticity 50, authentically made in the 50 states, is the genesis of the meaning behind it. Born in 2015, I have always been entrepreneurial. My parents, small business owners, I saw them work so hard with it. Low lows, okay highs, but just the journey, but always
What
being
was their
around.
business? What did they do?
My dad was an ENT. He just retired at 80, and my mom was his office manager. Proud of him. He never, quote unquote, sold out to join a group.
Mhm.
With the medical system, there's no mom and pop shops anymore. He was one of the very few left.
I see.
And for good or bad, he was basically the old guard, following his gut to be like, I just want to work with my patients. I care about them so much. And he had patients for 30, 40 years. And I would grow up going to the office and coloring, waiting for them. My parents, like a lot of the patients, I'd see them a lot, were like close family friends because we grow up with them, and they would come see my theater performances and different things, like where you're just
Community,
this
yeah.
community. Exactly. And
Hmm.
also seeing how like the empathy that my mom and dad had when they worked with
Their
their patients
clients,
coming
yeah.
in. Yeah,
Hmm.
seeing that through line of kindness along with entrepreneurship, and
Love
so that
that.
stayed with me. And from a young age, as being an actor and having that entrepreneurial spirit in my DNA, I
Hmm.
sold flower lays with my friends in the driveway. I was the top sixth grade when we had to go around and sell stuff for school. It's always
Hmm.
been there from
Hmm.
a young
Yes.
age. And
That
my friend and
entrepreneurial
I,
spirit is just in you. It's
yes,
in you.
yeah,
Okay.
it is. And a friend, she and I came up with a patent for a nail polish pen in high school. You see those little like breadcrumbs of this is what I've always been okay with, is forging my own path and not being afraid to do so.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's the same way. His dad is a small business owner. The other component of that is also having work-life balance for my family and his family. Being able to see your kids every day and be home for dinner,
Yes.
spend
Yes.
that
Core
family time. So I
value
was,
for
yeah, I was
sure.
very lucky to see
Same.
my folks all the time. And they would
Yep.
go to soccer practices, theater practices,
Mm.
like whatever I had going on.
They were
They
present.
were every game, yeah, every performance, they were present. And I'm very grateful for that. Jimmy and I had that same DNA in our bones. We were married for a few years. We looked for American made goods. We wanted to get high quality stuff. No shade on big box retailer stuff, IKEA, etc. Have had that, gone through that, but we're like, well, we're going to invest a little bit in nicer stuff, buy nicer, buy twice. And we could not find nice bedding. Like grandma and grandpa had nice sheets that were made in the US. Like Jimmy's mom had in her closet. She's like, these are 30 years old, but they're still so great. We couldn't
Um,
find any quality like that. Any
hmm,
department store, any wedding registry we tried, couldn't find anything. And then
interesting.
fast forward, yeah, a few years later, Jimmy came to me. He was in finance and corporate for 10 years, and I was doing my creative path with acting, producing, and being in the entertainment scene. In entertainment, you're usually a freelancer. You're going gig to gig and you're hoping for a good gig. And it's
Hmm.
oftentimes very hard to make enough to pay any rent with just acting. So you're
Yeah.
supplementing it with other jobs. So I've had a bunch of different jobs. And it came to that point where it was like, man, I'd love to not be beholden to someone else
Yep.
and ask for time off to do an audition or ask for time off to do this or that. And
It's like,
so
how do you
he was
create
like,
sustainability for your life
yes,
based on your core
mhm,
values of I want to be
yeah,
home, I want to live in kindness, I want some sustainability,
mhm,
I have this independent spirit, I already know I'm an entrepreneur.
mhm.
There's this gap missing in the US market. So it all kind of converged.
Yes, don't be afraid to take risks. We did not know what the heck we were doing. Neither of us come from a textile background.
Okay.
We knew we loved supporting local. We really believed in making high quality, like, let's bring jobs back to the United States. Like, why have they left? Why can't we find American made shirts here? I give Jimmy credit for doing about a year and a half of research because
Wow.
I told him, I said, if this is something you would like to do and you're bringing this to me, you need to sell me on it before I get on board.
Sure.
He was like, okay. And he just deep dive into learning about US supply chains and
Wow.
almost like the broken manufacturing system, if you will, because essentially in the 1980s, everything got offshore to for
China.
cheaper overseas labor. Yeah, yeah. There was so much made in the United States up until the 80s. And then when corporations wanted to make everything cheaper, they wanted to
Yeah.
downsize this and that.
Yeah.
So the whole manufacturing landscape changed. And I was just a small child when that's going on. So you don't know the landscape as you grow up and you are like, oh my gosh, okay, so this is why it is how it is. This is why I can't find made in USA this or American made that. But yet it was such a legacy of our country for so long.
And when you have sheets that wear out so quickly, because
Mhm,
we've owned Airbnbs for the past 8 years, and you have to buy new ones or towels that you have to buy new ones, that's horrible for the environment.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. 100%. 100%. Absolutely, Siri. There's that whole other component of made locally in USA, just like you said, sustainability and environmental impact and keeping things here is so positive for our
Hmm.
planet. Our supply chain is 100% in the USA across the country. Our products travel max 28 to 3,000 miles round trip between the cotton being harvested, woven and spun into yarn, woven into fabric, cut and sewn. If you buy a product that's made in China elsewhere, that set of sheets has traveled about 10 to 18,000 miles round trip. People don't realize these items are traveling on container ships, and container ships are actually the worst
Hmm.
form of pollution for the
Hmm.
planet. They use sludge, crude oil waste to power these container ships. And they have very little environmental regulation because it's in international waters and it's very hard for a governing body to regulate what they do. And they put all this waste into the ocean. And they also create so much smog. There is a stat from the Wall Street Journal. They did a study and it was like one container ship can pollute as much as 50,000 cars. No joke. No joke.
Mm.
It's insane. And so
Mm.
when you buy a product that's made locally in your country with a supply chain and a radius that is so small like ours with such a small carbon footprint, you are actively making a choice to support the environment and support the health of the planet. Crazy.
Incredible. Yeah.
It was that mission that manifested through a Kickstarter. We were like, if I'm going to say yes to this and we're going to go in and do this, we need to make sure this is something that other people would be on board with. And our
Hmm.
Kickstarter ended up doubling our funding goal. It became a
Amazing.
Kickstarter staff pick because the staff, like,
Wow.
it was one of those where we're like, okay, we're kind of onto something. And like,
You're
we
like
had,
answering the call, answering the need. It's
yeah,
there.
we're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Proof,
And then people,
proof.
the proof is there. They're like, okay, other people want to see locally made high quality goods, not just us. People
Sure.
want to buy local things and they want to support workers here and they want to know where their products are coming from
Mm.
and have that transparency and honesty and that authenticity. And for
Yeah.
us, so that authenticity piece is that we coined the phrase and trademarked seed to stitch. So there's farm to table, we have seed to stitch from the cotton
Wow.
seed to the final stitch sewn.
I love
Every
it.
aspect, thank you. Every aspect of our product is 100% made in USA. So grown, sewn, woven, cut, So everything. So you can rest assured if you're like, am I really getting something made in America? Or is it like an Apple product where it's quote designed in California, made in China? No, this is not just designed here. We will not create a product and put it on our shelves unless we can source every single aspect from the United States. And that's a huge point of pride for us and our team, and
Mm.
has been something that our customers have really resonated with. And we were the first to do that, to bring it back as a DTC, direct to consumer e-commerce brand in 2015. We weren't the first online bedding home goods brand in the DTC space, but we saw a need of making quality products here and making a difference for communities across the country here. And
Amazing.
so, yeah, it's authentically made in the 50 states. It's not easy by any stretch. When we started the business, we were very excited. We were also very naive. We like to joke when people ask us about our journey. We're like, well, you can work 80 hours a week that you want, any 80 hours a week, but you'll be working like 80 hours to build a business. And I did have to put acting on hold for a while because we got so overwhelmed. And in 2017, it really took us to the next level because we were very fortunate to get a huge story in the LA Times. They
Hmm.
got wind of us, wrote about us. It was a whole thing that really put us on the map nationally.
Amazing.
And then from there in 2019, we were able to get on ABC World News for David Muir's Made in America segments. And they put us on there the next year and the next year, 3 years in a row on that. And then in 2022, Jenny and Dave Mars from HGTV, it's one of their top shows on HGTV, Fixer to Fabulous. Their team got in touch with us and they're like, we want to put your products in our renovated property, The Welcome Inn, which they did a 4-episode spinoff of that. And people found us from there because she was holding our pillows and blankets. And it's been a really wild journey, and highest of highs and lowest of lows. And I just want to be real with people that we're learning something every day, and it's not all roses and
Yes, yes. It's all
fairy
the
tales. Like,
success. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
there are good years, there are bad years, and we just
Hmm.
celebrated 10 years in
Incredible.
October. Thank you. We're surprised and that we're still around, but
You
it's
know,
been
I
exciting.
no, I think the success that you've had is due to the fact that you really had this grander, wider purpose for the greater good. That it came with this passion for wanting to help and wanting to serve and wanting to do something that was going to create goodness in the world. And I think that's a key ingredient in people actually having success like you've had with your company. There's a reason for it. It's not just for vanity or whatever. It's not just, oh, this would be fun for a few days. This is, you're in it for the long haul. You cared about something. You cared about it for your own family, but you also cared about it for people in general, your communities. So I think people resonate with the goodness of that, with the
Thank you.
authenticity of that, with the heart of that. And like you said, quality. It's really about quality. And
Mhm,
I love that you're talking about the real aspect of some years, not just days, some years. It's hard
mhm,
being a business
mhm,
owner, being a
mhm,
business owner and being someone who's in business with their spouse.
mhm.
Okay, so that's a whole challenge in and of itself.
Yes,
That's a whole episode.
it really is.
I mean, honestly, we have so much to talk about. But one lesson and one benefit that you've found. So if you're thinking about going into business with your partner or you are in business with your partner, what would you say?
Mhm. Great question.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. It is
Hmm.
definitely not for everyone. If you and your spouse have very differing views on how something should be done, and you find that it's like they're just not quite on the same page with what I'm seeing, like a vision for XYZ or something, it
Yes.
might not be the correct fit. I would say if you both have different strengths and weaknesses that can align, for example, he's very good with the finance side and the logistics side. I'm very good with the creative side and partnerships and branding side. Or I
Mm.
shouldn't say very good. I should just say that is what I am stronger at. Let's be real. We're learning every day. Just because you start a business that, is still around 10 years later doesn't mean I know everything. In fact, we just You
Well,
constantly
it
learn.
certainly means you could teach a master course in in
Thank you,
this.
Siri. I sometimes I'm like, I
Yes.
don't know what I'm doing today. I what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? So
Yeah.
there are those
I
days
feel
of
like that every day.
right. There,
Yeah.
100%. There's those days of self doubt. There are those days where you're just like, man, like that was yeah, okay, that failed, that didn't work. And
Yeah.
you just pick yourself up again and you're just like, okay, well, that didn't work out how we thought it would, how we hoped it would with our team, but that's okay. You just keep going, moving forward, and you just can't let things bog you down to the point where it paralyzes you. Find those the strengths and weaknesses, and if that's with your partner, your person, great. If it isn't, you can, and you want to start a business, perhaps you find a business partner or a friend where you're both aligned on that. It is tricky, as they say, to work and get involved with friends and
Totally.
family.
Yeah.
But when it's a point where it's a partnership and you're doing it together and no one has more of a financial investment than the other and it's an equal
Mm.
footing, then it's safe because there's all these stories that you hear of kind of the relationship soured and it just got really messy to dissolve the
Well, yeah,
company,
because
etc. Right?
how do you, oh my gosh, talk about
Yes.
balance. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how do you make, do you guys have
Mm-hmm.
regular date nights?
So we need to be better about that.
Can you go
We
away, just the two of you for a night?
we can't do that. We don't have family. Like we can't do that. Just kind of the way it is. Like
Yeah, no, I get
family.
it.
My
I
family's
get it.
not close by. His family's not close by, and they're not able
Yeah,
to as well.
totally.
We could do a better job of getting out for date nights. What we do is
Okay.
when we're online and we're at the office with our team during the workday, which can change depending on how things are going. But generally, the workday is when everyone else in the manufacturing side across the country, it's generally like a 9 to 5 ish
Mm-hmm.
day.
Mm-hmm.
We put it on pause when we pick up the kids, and everything has to pause because we really try. And
Mm-hmm.
it's hard in a digital age where your phone is right nearby and everything is so accessible, news and texts and calls and this.
Yes, yes.
But we try to hide our phone, put it in another room, and just be really present with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have any nannies. We pick them up from daycare. We make dinner together. We split the duties. So either someone's picking up the kids, someone's making dinner, and vice versa. And,
You're good
if it,
partners. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
You figure it
it's
out.
there.
You
You
figure it
figure it
out.
out. You figure it out. You don't always have perfect days as well. We have our
Sure.
spats and disagreements too, but you learn to work it out. And it's very different when kids are in the picture, but we try to be present with them. At 5 to 8 p.m. time frame is very much a kid zone. It's the chaos. It's like I can't even concentrate to like even do a work call or something because it's just too noisy in the house. Like,
Yeah.
so it's
And
not even
also,
meant to be.
Stephanie, I have to say that you're very dedicated to your friends, is what I've
Thank
noticed.
you.
You're a very social person, you're a community person. So somehow you're finding time also to prioritize that. You're doing an incredible job. I'm really impressed that you've had time to come to a breathwork class, that you've had time to cultivate these friendships, that you've had time to be present with your children, that you've had time to sustain a business for 10 years. That's incredible. That's a
Thank you,
huge,
Siri.
huge, huge deal. What a success, because even if you've had hard years, the fact that you're
Mhm.
going after 10 years is incredible.
Thank you. Thank
Fantastic.
you. I
Most
appreciate you
businesses
saying
don't
that.
last that long. So let's wrap up just for today. Obviously, there's so much more. If you know Stephanie, you can reach out to her. You can ask her about things that came up. We
Yes.
touched upon so much. If you don't know Stephanie and you want to reach out to her about something appropriate, please do. Where do you want them to find you?
Yes, thanks. You can find me on Instagram. It's at Stephanie_Fodor, Fodor. If you want to check out our company, it's authenticity50.com. And that's AUTHENTICITY 50, the numbers.com. You can also follow Authenticity50 on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. If you are in the need or the market to do a spring refresh, check out our sheets. Buy high quality, 100% US grown cotton percale sheets. It's always good to just do a refresh on bedding every couple of years if you're in the need for a sheet set. Spring is a perfect time to do that. We are actually getting in, after literally 4 years of not having it, we're getting in our gray color of sheets, which was a huge seller for us. It's Carolina gray. It's coming back. And if you're still in the market for cozy throws, for our 10-year anniversary, we did a pretty cool partnership collaboration with Pendleton Woolen Mills, which is
Yeah.
literally 10
Oh
minutes
my
away.
gosh. I'm so glad you mentioned that because that was
Thank
such a
you.
cool thing. I love it.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank
Yes.
you so much. We actually just met with them the other day because we're working on stuff for holiday 2026. It's was a 2-year project for us to work with them. Kind of like a pinch me moment because you're like, we're a small company. They've been around for like 160 years. We're 10 years old. And they love the fact for us, we were like, we need to make a US made blanket. Like, we're not using foreign wool. Like, can you do a blanket that is 100% domestic wool? And lo and behold, our blanket, we were able to work with them and source Oregon grown wool. One of our farmers, we went to the sheep farm, you can see it on our site, is right on Salvia Islands, like an hour from us here in the Portland
Oh.
area. It's Oregon grown wool, woven 10 minutes from our offices in Washougal. It's the Northwest Wool Throw. We're so proud of it. It's a limited edition product. It's very special. It's very limited quantities. The first batch sold out
Mm.
really quickly. We're hoping to bring another 1 or 2 colors on deck for holiday 2026. Our cotton blankets are amazing as well. We use our products and we always test our products out on ourselves, friends, family before we put anything out for a very long time, making sure that what you purchase is something that we would want ourselves. And we, in fact, do use all of our products ourselves.
So for the listeners, because we're in 65 plus countries, in other countries besides the US, can they get your product?
So we sell to Canada and the United States. Unfortunately, I wish we could, but the shipping and logistics,
It's a lot.
yeah, our products are heavy.
So they got to come
And it's
here.
like,
Come
yeah,
visit.
or get a family friend to order it, ship it to
Hmm.
your family friend, have them ship it off to you.
Okay. And then the
Mhm.
other thing that I wanted to ask you about is sleep because sheets,
Mhm.
motherhood, entrepreneurship all require sleep.
Yes, yes. I feel like we as a society and just in the United States or worldwide, we're so digitally inclined. We're on our phones, we're scrolling, we have so much with the screens and devices, and
Mhm.
we don't realize how much it affects our life. And when we don't sleep enough, it has such a profound impact in a negative way because humans need sleep. We need 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. If you're sleeping on shitty
Sometimes
sheets that
nine.
sometimes 9 or more. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to just listen to your body and sleep. There are days where I feel terrible and I look back at my week, I'm like, I did not sleep nearly enough hours as I should have. And a really high quality set of sheets, whether it's from us or somewhere else, is a game changer. If you
Yes.
are sleeping on a set of sheets that keep you cool, they keep you breathable, you're not sweating,
Mm.
you're able to sleep through the night, your body temperature is regulated. It makes a
Mhm.
huge difference. You don't want to be sleeping on sandpaper, you don't want to be sleeping on scratchy sheets, and you don't want to be sleeping on sheets that become very thin and
Mhm.
flimsy
Mhm.
and wear out. Sleep is the magic elixir for anyone to feel their best. And we need to make sure, and especially people who are juggling hats all the time, whether you're a pet parent or a human parent, whether you're juggling 3 jobs and you have the kids or whatever you're doing, you need sleep to fuel you.
Yeah.
Piece
Quality
of
sleep,
advice for people,
the
yes,
like
get,
the best thing you can do
it
for
really
your
is.
health. Yeah.
Yes.
Besides sunshine and exercise and community, sleep is
Yeah.
one of those major
Oh,
components that if you don't have it, everything crumbles.
a
Everything
hundred
crumbles.
percent.
Yeah.
100%. And you know, your body knows if you don't get a good night's sleep, the next day is so rough.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone, and I always tell myself too, it's like, okay, I got to put the phone down by this time in
Yes.
order to get 7 or 8 hours. I'm kind of a night owl. That's kind
Same.
of the only
Yep.
time I can rest is when the kids are
Mhm.
in bed after
Yep.
8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yep.
But for that hour and a half, watch your TV show, do what you need to do, but start putting the phone away 30 minutes before bed.
Yes.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it in bed. Like,
So
just put it
hard, but it's
away.
so important and
I
not to
know.
have it in the room with you. Yeah. Don't have it near
I
your
mean,
sheets. Put them in the bathroom, put it downstairs
you
somewhere
can
else.
put chargers in
Yeah.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
I keep it face down, and then you can do the
Yep.
do not disturb as well.
Yep.
On your body, on yourself, these small changes can really have a huge impact. And even your room itself, the sleep sanctuary, fill it
Mhm.
with good sheets, keep it nice and cool at like 68 to
Yes.
72.
Yep.
There's all these
68's
little tricks.
perfect. Yeah.
Yes,
Love it.
exactly. Because if you're overheating and your room is too hot, like, you are not going to sleep well.
Yeah.
There's all these little tips and tricks that you can do for yourself. We have a blog with tips on how to sleep better, how to make a
I
sleep
love that.
sanctuary. You guys can check out our blog on our website and pick up some tips.
And you have a little special gift code for us.
Yes, I do. I'm so glad and honored to be on your podcast. And for all of you listeners who want to try our products out, we do have a 100-night sleep trial as well.
Oh,
Use the code authentic15, and you'll get a 15% off discount off of anything. And we also offer free shipping all the time to the lower 48. So you don't have to deal with any threshold of like must spend 100, 150, etc. Anything can get you free shipping, and you'll also enjoy that discount just for listening to this great
amazing.
podcast.
You guys, I asked specifically for a code that had the word authentic in it because that's where we converge here. Stephanie, there's so much to you. You're such a dynamic person. You're such a talented person, such a devoted mom, such a devoted friend, such a courageous, adventurous spirit. So thank you for we didn't even talk about spirituality and God and religion. And
Yeah,
I mean, there's just so much,
there's
but
so much.
I want to know more. But for now, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing so deeply and openly and giving us those nuggets of wisdom. I really, really appreciate it. I'm sure that people are going to resonate with us and see themselves in your stories, I'm sure. So thank you for that. You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome.
I just loved being on this podcast with you. And I hope when your listeners hear this that, yeah, they get a little bit of inspiration or a little bit of comfort knowing that they're not alone and that,
Hmm.
you know, risk is okay. We can do it. We can all do it.
I love that. Yeah, so keep expanding your capacity to feel good one breath at a time. And if you guys are local to Camas, Washington, you can come meet Stephanie at our breathwork classes at Lockamus Lake Lodge. And love you guys. Thank you so much. All right.
Absolutely.
See you soon. Bye for now.